So, you're thinking about working at Amazon? It's not just another job application. You're trying to get inside one of the most influential companies on the planet. And to do that, you've got to understand how the whole machine works from the inside out. Think of this as your high-level briefing. Let's get into it.
Everything, and I mean everything at Amazon starts with this idea. It's not about what competitors are doing. It's about an obsession, a relentless focus on the customer. This is their true north. It guides literally every single decision. And it's the absolute first thing you have to wrap your head around.
And that's really the secret, isn't it? You can't just know what Amazon does, you have to understand how Amazon thinks. That's your key to the kingdom, whether you're sitting in an interview or trying to lead a project. So let's decode that mindset together. To really get Amazon, you have to learn to speak its language. It's this really unique culture, and it's built on a few core ideas that drive everything, from huge billion-dollar deals right down to how they run a simple Tuesday morning meeting.
Okay, if you only remember one thing, make it this. Day one. It's this idea that the company has to act like a startup every single day. That means being fast, being hungry, and always inventing for the customer. Because day two? Day two is when you get comfortable. Day two is stasis. And then, well, decline. The goal is to make it always day one. Now, these leadership principles, they aren't just feel-good posters on the wall. They're the company's operating system. There are actually 16 of them now, but these 4 give you a really good sense of how they work. This is literally the criteria they use to hire and promote you. So in any interview, you better be ready with real concrete stories about how you've lived these principles.
And here's a perfect example of how that bias for action principle actually works. Amazon sorts decisions into 2 buckets. Is it a one-way door? A huge, consequential choice you can't easily undo? Okay, then you slow down, you analyze, you debate. But if it's a two-way door, something you can easily walk back through if it doesn't work out, the expectation is to just decide and go. Go fast. This is how a company this massive can still move with speed.
Okay, so we've got a handle on how Amazon thinks. Now let's look at what it actually does. I mean, we all know it started as a bookstore, but today, it's a global beast with some incredibly powerful engines driving its growth.
So at first glance, this looks pretty straightforward. The retail side of the business, what they call stores, is obviously the biggest piece of the revenue pie, split between North America and the rest of the world. But pay close attention to those other slices, especially AWS and advertising. They might look smaller, but they tell a completely different and way more important story when we talk about profit.
And this, right here, is where the story gets fascinating. AWS, their cloud computing division, only brings in about 15 to 20% of the total sales. But look at this. It generates more than 60% of the company's entire operating profit. It's the financial engine of the whole operation. The insane profitability of AWS is what bankrolls Amazon's other giant, ambitious bets on the future.
Speaking of those big bets, this is where principles like invent and simplify and think big really come to life. Amazon is constantly pouring money into what some people call moonshots. These high-risk, high-reward ventures that could totally define the next decade of technology.
And one of the main ways it builds for the future is through smart acquisitions. Look at this. Buying Kiva Systems back in 2012, that became Amazon Robotics, the backbone of their automated warehouses. PillPack was their ticket into the pharmacy game. And Zoox, that's a massive bet on a driverless future.
So first up, autonomous logistics. Zoox is building this wild, purpose-built robotaxi. No steering wheel, no pedals, nothing. It's designed to completely reinvent how we get around cities. But you gotta think bigger. This is the kind of tech that could one day automate Amazon's entire delivery fleet. And that's on top of the million-plus robots already working in their fulfillment centers today. Then there's satellite internet. Project Kuiper, which is now being called Amazon Leo, is a $10 billion investment to build a giant network of satellites in low Earth orbit. What for? The goal is to beam high-speed internet to places that have been left behind and to businesses all around the globe.
And finally, agentic AI. You're going to hear this term a lot. We're moving beyond simple chatbots to AI agents that can actually do complex things for us. Think of shopping assistants like Rufus, or the custom chips like Trainium that Amazon builds to power it all. They're building the foundation for this whole new era, not just for themselves, but for every company that uses AWS.
But of course, when you operate at this kind of scale, it comes with huge responsibilities and a ton of scrutiny. If you're seriously thinking about working at Amazon, you have to be clear-eyed about the tough, complex challenges the company faces every single day. I mean, just to put this number in perspective, Amazon is the second largest private employer in the U.S. Its workforce is larger than the entire population of many major cities. That kind of scale creates unbelievable opportunity, but it also creates some enormous challenges.
And one of the biggest challenges is worker safety. A recent U.S. Senate committee report raised some really serious flags about high injury rates in warehouses, and it linked them directly to, quote, a corporate culture obsessed with speed and productivity. This is a huge issue, and the company is under a microscope to fix it.
So what's Amazon's response? Well, the company has made a number of public commitments. We're talking billions invested to raise pay and provide better benefits, plus billions more for free skills training. They've also set huge goals, like reaching net zero carbon, which all ties back to another one of their principles: success and scale bring broad responsibility.
So all of this, the mindset, the business, the challenges, it brings us right back to the one central question for anyone who wants a career here. It's not just about what you can do, it's about who you are, and whether this unique and, let's be honest, demanding environment is really the right place for you.
So if you're prepping for that interview or just thinking about your next career move, how do you take all this information and actually use it? How do you show them you've got what it takes?
It all comes back to the leadership principles. Honestly, think of them as your study guide. You need to come prepared with stories that prove you have these traits. Show them a time you took ownership of something way outside your job description. Give them an example of your bias for action, where you took a smart risk to get something done fast. Explain how you invented a simpler way to solve a tricky problem. And above all, show that you deliver results, period.
In the end, it really just boils down to this. Amazon's entire culture is designed to fight off complacency, to always operate with the hunger and speed of a brand new startup. So the final question they're asking, and the one you really need to ask yourself, is simple. Amazon is always at day one. Are you?